We will be starting now. However, the main anchor for this event is the director of events. That's in person of Mr. Valentine. However, at the moment is experiencing a bit of load shedding. So I'm just filling in for him. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. While we wait for others to join, we will kickstart because we are all academics and time is very precious to us. As a result of that, may I be permitted to call on Miss Juliet, that's the Assistant General Secretary, to just give us a short prayer before we kickstart. Yeah, thank you very much. Just a disclaimer, this event is being recorded and will be shared live on our Facebook page. So we are trying to work on the live streaming now, but if that is not possible, it's going to be uploaded. Yep. Miss Juliet, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus and the precious blood of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for bringing us all together once again. As we are about to start on today's program, we ask for your mercy, your guidance, and your protection to be with us throughout the process of the event. That you guide all the speakers to give them the grace, oh God, to explain each and every point they need to explain to us, and give us the grace to understand whatever that is being shared today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Miss Juliet. Next on our agenda is the welcome address by the President and also acknowledgement of guests. First and foremost, my name is Omobolanle Kayode James, and I'm privileged to be the President of the National Association of Nigerian Students, South Africa, NANSSA, an association that has been existing for the past 15 years and 9 months as a result of some visionary leaders who had the vision of bringing students in South Africa together. And by students, I mean Nigerian students that came into South Africa for what I call educational tourism. And that happened. So the first meeting was held on the 16th of May 2009. So, and over the years, this has grown to become this big association that we are seeing today. As a result, we do acknowledge all the founding leaders of NANSSA and also with the person that actually had the main vision, which is Barrister Smart Nwobi, hopefully will join us in the course of this event. NANSSA, as we all know, comprises of undergrads, postgrads, and also postdoctoral fellows. At the same time, we also extend our arms to those I refer to as our siblings in high school, that are brothers and sisters. Okay, I'm going to on my video now. Sorry, I just got a pop-up about that. Just a minute. Yeah. So please permit the background. I happen to also be a group exercise instructor at the gym. I just finished the class now, and I looked a bit, as in a bit rough, but sorry about that. It's not my usual look. Like I was saying, so NANSSA also extend our hands to our siblings in high school, because definitely we know we have to mentor them. So in all, NANSSA is saddled with the responsibility of the welfareism of our members in South Africa, that's Nigerian students in South Africa. And that includes students within the 26 recognized universities in South Africa, as well as the colleges under TVEC, based on the DHET, that's Department of Higher Education in South Africa. So we cover all borders. Let me just quickly move to acknowledgement of our guests who are here in no particular order. Should I miss out the names, please kindly call me back to order. We have all our speakers on ground. That we have Dr. Shola Olubiyi is one of our keynote speaker. We'll be giving his bio before he presents. We also have Miss Nidia. And okay, please permit me, Miss Nidia. I don't want to murder your surname. We've also got Miss Rikki Wooden. I believe she's still here. We've also got The Voice. I'm not sure if it's the same The Voice I know, but we acknowledge your presence. We've also got a representative of Omo Egbe Yoruba Lakpapo. That's from the Yoruba Association. I'm not sure if there's anyone from the Women's Association or Nikasa around. I know we've got, I'm trying to, we've got, okay, because a lot of us, our names, I can't really pick. But as we go on, I would give a personal chat so that I can actually welcome you properly or acknowledge you, as the case may be. At the same time, we've got some of our postdocs around. I can see Dr. David Love. I can see Dr. Eric. I can see some institutional leaders also present. While we move on with the program, we will try as much as possible to acknowledge each and every one of us. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Omobolanle Kayode James, privileged to be the president of the National Association of Nigerian Students, South Africa, NANSSA. Thank you very much. May I be asked to hand over to the Vice President one to continue with the program. Thank you. Mr. Luke Ajayi, you are mute, sir. I'm hoping it's not a network issue. However, we'll go ahead to introduce our keynote speaker. That's our keynote speaker one. Our keynote speaker one, okay, no problem. Our keynote speaker, the first keynote speaker for today is Dr. Olusola Akande Olubiyi. Dr. Olusola Olubiyi is a general practitioner, occupational, and also an occupational medical practitioner with over 27 years of experience in medicine. He is the CEO of Dr. Olubiyi, and based in Jeffrey Bay, Eastern Cape, South Africa. He also leads Reignite Wellness and Sports Performance Property Limited, an advanced and precision-driven company specializing in weight management, wellness, and sports performance. A former clinical manager of Humans Drops Hospital between 2008 and 2018. Dr. Olubiyi completed his postgraduate studies at the at the University of Cape Town, UCT, and Stellenbosch University. At 58 years old, he is a dedicated advocate for fitness and wellness, having achieved over 4 million skips in 4 years. Wow. Since February 2021. Through jump ropes, skip dancing, and endurance challenges. In sports, he is a 4-time Eastern Cape Doctor table tennis champion and a 1-time national Nigerian Doctors Forum South Africa table tennis champion, demonstrating his commitment to peak performance and an active lifestyle. Dr. Olubiyi embodies the philosophy that fitness is fun and age is no barrier to excellence. Fitness is fun and age is no barrier to excellence. Permit me to give the floor to Dr. Olusola Olubiyi. Thank you very much.
Good morning, friends and colleagues, brothers and sisters. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Please, do you have my presentation, Mr. James?
Okay, just a few seconds.
Okay. And I think you are adding to my age. I am 53, not 58.
That's a sign. That's a sign you are going to grow old and old and old.
Thank you. Okay, while we're waiting for the presentation, just give me a second. Sorry, I'm trying to, this is, okay.
I'm not sure if you can see the slide.
Okay, I think it's there now. Okay. I'm just trying to get something on my side. Just give me a second. Technology sometimes can. Okay. I'll say I'm very privileged to be part of this paradigm shift with Nigerian National Association of Nigerian Association is NANSSA. I'll put it. Sorry about that. And there is a Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the next best time is today. I want to say thank you to the National Association of Nigerian Students, South Africa, and partners like Momentum Health, CompCare medical scheme. Let's get some facts clear about some challenges about international students. A study conducted in 2024 shows that 19% of international students who commenced bachelor's degree in 2017 had dropped out by 2022. Also, another study that was conducted shows that there is so much prevalence, or the prevalence among international students is increasing and is worse than what we found among local students. Suicide prevalence on a study done on Asian international students shows that between 20.5% of males and 35.3% of females of international students have experienced suicidal thoughts at one time or the other. The anxiety about, will I get a job, has increased the risk factors for health disorders among international students. Over 55% of students have experienced one time or the other burnout symptoms. And all these statistics underscore the importance of providing a targeted support and resources to international students because of the unique challenges that they face. As a student, we face challenges. As international students, we face more challenges. And there's a need to have a balance between academics, health, and adapting to new culture that you found in this country. We're talking about South Africa or any other country that we may be. So it is also very important, if we go to the slide 2, it is also very important to start a proactive well-being strategies that can help international students to actually navigate these problems. The next slide talks about different challenges that are faced by international students. One is the heavy coursework that they deal with. The deadlines are there, one after the other. High expectations from lecturers, high expectations from guardians and parents and families wherever they are. Also, there is challenges on mental health, anxiety, being homesick, being lonely, cultural adjustment. The cultural adjustment varies. Cultural adjustment in the country, cultural adjustment in the city or the town where they live, cultural adjustment in the university campus, and even in their department. Also, we have the challenges of physical health, and one of the worst one is the unhealthy eating, no time for exercise, disrupted sleep, and we also have the burden of diseases such as STI, HIV among students. So these are some of the challenges that international students face. So we're going to talk about the management or strategies to deal with this, especially the stress that accumulates from all these challenges that they face, which is seen in the next slide. How do we manage all these challenges as a student? The first thing we want to do is to identify the stress or the source of the stress we are facing. Where is my stress coming from? What can I change? What can I not change? What can I live with? And then we channel the little resources that we have towards addressing the most important stressors in our lives as international students. As part of the coping mechanism, there are so many things that we cannot change. They say resting, exercise is very, very important. So we'll be talking about some of the coping techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and also looking at some support that comes from the environment in which we are living. in the university, the peer groups, from big associations like we have NANSSA. How can we look at all these resources to make sure that we face the challenges that we cannot shelve off? Earlier, we talked about stress or the issue of workload. There is nothing we can do about it. The workload will always be there. The workload is going to get more and more, especially in this era of a lot of information. So the question is, how do we manage our time? So many people will say, probably we need 48 hours in a day. Unfortunately, we can't get 48 hours. I did some few research while I was preparing for this, and there are some very practical interventions that we can have. If you look at the next slide, which I can see, it's called the Mastering Time Management. The first thing we want to do is to prioritize what is more important to us. We have some tools. The first one I want to talk about is what we call Eisenhower matrix, which is a tool that can help a student to prioritize tasks by urgency and secondly by importance. What do you do in this? What does this tool help you to do? It actually involves a very beautiful drawing. You draw a four square, you label the x-axis urgent and the y-axis not urgent. Urgent and non-urgent, and also the y-axis as important or not important. And after you have done that, you now group those important and not important. You now group everything together, and then you'll be able to see, or you'll be able to bring together those tasks that are urgent and important. And these are the tasks that you must do immediately. You also, based on this tool, you also see those ones that are urgent but not important. These are the exercises that we can delegate to other people. Then we see the not urgent but important. These are the tasks that you can schedule for later. And there are some that will fall under not urgent and not important. These you will delete. So this can actually help a student to prioritize, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do this weekend? What studies? Where do I go? Do I go for exercise? Do I go for lectures? Do I have party with my friends? This will help you to manage your time because there's no time anywhere. The other one that a student can also look at is what we call efficient study. One tool that comes to mind is what we call Pomodoro technique. And this probably we have applied in our lives, but this person brought it together. What does it involve? This Pomodoro technique actually will help the student or anyone to choose a task to work on. You set a timer for 25 minutes. And then during that 25 minutes, you work on the task without any distraction at all. When your 25 minutes ends, you take a short break, you rebreathe, you refresh, and then you go back again for another 25 minutes from some of the tasks that you have prioritized from Eisenhower matrix. Then you repeat this process about 3 times. You take a longer break if it is necessary, and you continue with the task again. What this helps you to do is to make sure that during that 25 minutes, you have absolute concentration. While you're taking the short break, you refresh. You want to eat, you want to take a walk, and that will make you to relax and help you to concentrate on the next task. The other thing that we can do to actually master time management is what we call having a balance. You want to make sure you have well outlined schedules for yourself. You can do this daily, you can do this weekly, you can do this monthly as time permits. In addition to that, we also want to look at healthy living for success. One of the most daunting problems that students can face is the issue of food. It's either we have no money or less money to buy food, and then we actually go for junks, which is what we do most of the time. But this is not healthy. So we need to have our budget. You have to look at our budget. Our resources are not unlimited at all. So as students, you have to look at what do I have? And then look at simple budget-friendly healthy tips. It's very interesting that while I was looking at this, I came across something that I never saw before. And there is something from University of KwaZulu-Natal, and it's entitled Healthy Eating on a Limited Budget, a student guide by University of KwaZulu-Natal. It is brilliant. It's a brilliant piece of document that can help any student, no matter how much you have, to make sure that you are within your budget. Not only that you are within your budget, you also are eating very healthy food. The other thing that can help you to be very active, to concentrate, to have energy for your studies is by doing exercise. A lot of people will say, I don't have the time. I have so many lectures to attend. I have so many assignments to do. The lists are endless. But we want to reiterate the point that exercise is not just about looking fit. It's not just about looking good, but it helps in so many ways. When you're doing your exercise, a lot of endorphins, anti-stress hormones are released that helps you to cope with day-to-day activities. In addition to that, because of the fast pace that we find on campuses, you need a lot of energy. And seriously, you cannot have energy, or you cannot give energy that you don't have. So exercise helps with healthy living. So we don't have time. So what do? There are some very few tips that we can look at. You can engage in very quick workout as a student. If you go on YouTube, you see a lot of resources. 5 minutes exercise, 5 minutes cardio. They are endless. I will give you, for example, my own daily exercise. If I can't wake up in the morning to do that, what I do is that I've turned my consultation room to my exercise room. I do my push-ups there. I have elastic band that I use. Sometimes in between patients, I make sure that I do this every day, and that has become part of me. So as a student, what can you do? I had our mentor here who was talking about he is a gym instructor, and at the same time, he's also a student. That is very commendable. Not everybody can go to the gym, but you can do a lot of exercises in our rooms. So let's imbibe that. The other very important aspect of health management is sleep. So many people will say, oh, I don't have time to sleep, I have to study at night. But when you don't sleep, you cannot assimilate, you cannot concentrate at all. So you need to do at least, they say, between 5 to 8, depending on your schedule. But a lot of times you have deep sleep, 5 hours, 6 hours, that might be enough. And during the day, it's also good to take some naps. 15 minutes power nap is unbelievable. The energy you feel after taking a nap during the afternoon session is beautiful. So we need to engage in this. In addition to that, we want to look at how we can use the available resources, which is the next slide, for the challenges we face. Look at the local systems that we have. We have student health services, we have their clinics. We also have insurances like, for example, the Momentum and the CompCare. You look at this and make a smart decision before you take any one of these insurances, you want to look at, is it value for money? Can it cater for all my needs? You know the chronic the chronic diseases you might be suffering from. So you have to look at this and make sure that you have one, especially in South Africa. The other issue that we have to look at is the mental health of students. As a result of all this stress, the mental stress is immense. Fortunately, most universities have helplines, they have psychologists, they have online therapy that you can call it. You can look at your own specific area, your own universities, and get those lines. You don't have to feel alone at all. The other aspect of healthcare that we want to look at that the student can tap into, or they can tap into, is the preventive care. What do we mean by this? You don't have to be sick before you go to a doctor. If you're having a medical aid or medical insurance, you can go and do a proper checkup to prevent chronic illnesses. We also have vaccinations during the flu time. You take your flu, your flu vaccine. Make sure that you do this every year. There are other vaccinations that are available. For example, people living with HIV and AIDS, they have their flu shot every year. They also have their hepatitis B vaccine that they need to take, day in, all the time, just to make sure that they are well. So these are the things that we need to take and tap into. The last aspect that we want to look at in helping students to face challenges of being an international student and staying healthy all the time is that as we are leaving this place, we want to look at all the support network that we have. The support network includes the university that you are part of. Association like NANSSA, you have online help. Make sure you have all this with you at all times so that whenever the need arises, you actually tap into them. You don't have to wait until you are sick. One of the challenges we also face is homesickness. Please, make sure you have time to call friends, families at home. If you are facing anything, discuss with them so that you can have that support. Also, you need to embrace challenges, learn from failures. And these are some of the social and emotional well-being resources that we can have. The next slide is the action plan for 2025 as international students. As we are leaving this place now, let's look back. First of all, what are the individual challenges that we are facing? Health-wise, emotional-wise, itemize them. Let's look at all the resources that are available, the support that are available. Let's put them on one side. Let's look at self-care, exercise, preventive care, and make sure all these resources are pulled together. We also have local support, different non-profit organizations that offer help to students, especially international students. We also have to look at this. In 2009, there was a young man that was doing a postgraduate studies. He was in the 8th month of the 1-year course, and suddenly he lost his the closest person to him through motor vehicle accident. And as a result of that, he went into depression. He would read, he would study, and he wouldn't concentrate. He could not. Nothing would enter his brain, nothing, absolutely nothing. So he did not submit his remaining assignments. He felt very, very alone. He didn't have any idea about the resources that he could use. But something happened. The head of department called him and said, "Come on, we've not seen your assignment. What is happening? You've been doing very well." And he explained everything to the head of department. And the head of department said, okay, I will come back to you and see what you can do because your assignments are already late. It was, in his experience, he now realized that so many resources were there for him as a student to tap into. Help was made, psychologists and everybody was involved from the university. At the end of the day, he was able to submit his assignments. He was able to meet up before the graduation, and he performed very well. One thing I learned from that is that sometimes we're in an environment where we don't know what we have. But from today, as students, we have so much resources that we can look at. And also, when you talk to people about the challenges you are facing, so many people will come up. That student in 2009, that student was me. And looking back, when I was called to give a keynote address on this, I said, wow, did anybody know the challenges I faced? If only this kind of lecture was available at that point in time, maybe I would have done something better. So we have all these resources, and we want to thank NANSSA. We want to thank all the partners that make this available, this lecture available to us and to all the students. And I hope this is not going to be the last one. So let's stay healthy. Let's continue to walk the walk. The challenges are going to be there, but we can meet those challenges with everything we've got and the support we've got. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Olusola Olubiyi. Thank you very much. It's a very insightful, inspiring, motivating session. I don't know if there are people with questions. Okay, I'm saying, okay, so it's just a greeting. If you have your question, you can actually drop it in the chat box, or you can just raise your hands up, and you can have the floor to, we'll give you the permission to have the floor to ask the question that you have for Dr. Olubiyi. At the same time, we understand that some of us might want to compile both questions, maybe for the two keynote speakers. So if that be the case, I think we can go into calling the second keynote speaker. While immediately after the second keynote speaker, we can now ask our question or throw our questions to both speakers. Thank you very much. Let me just stop sharing this. Yes. So just in some few, okay. In some few minutes or seconds rather, we would be introducing the second keynote. Okay. Was someone trying to say something? Okay. Once again, thank you, Dr. Olusola Olubiyi. Thank you very much, sir. We'll be calling the second keynote speaker now. Our second keynote speaker is Dr. Aderele. Now, sir, you permit me if I murder the Sunday, because I've actually been practicing, and out of shame, I don't know how to ask. So I'm sure you're going to correct me now. Motojesi, because I want to believe it's a Yoruba name, or maybe not. As in Dr. Ayo is a specialist psychiatrist who graduated with his MBBS degree in 1994 from the University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. He became a specialist psychiatrist in 2005 at Med UNSA, and started his private practice in Pretoria in 2007. He has a special interest in addiction medicine and adult psychiatry, and became the medical director of Clearview Rehabilitation Center in October 2014. Dr. Ayo is a member of the South African Psychiatry Society and South African Addiction Medicine Society, and a member of the Nigerian Doctors Forum South Africa. He is also currently a student like us. He is currently doing his MPhil in addiction psychiatry at Stellenbosch University, Cape Town. So the institutional leaders at Cape Town, I think you guys are favored to have Dr. Ayo, who is also one of you. Please utilize his expertise as well. So permit me to invite to the floor Dr. Ayo Aderele Motojesi. Please just help me correct the pronunciation of your surname. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Dr. Motojesi. Let me also switch on my video. I'm sure you could see me. Thank you for this invitation. It's highly, highly appreciated. And I'm standing on the existing protocol in terms of greeting everybody this morning. I will avoid repetition because Dr. Olubiyi has done a great job in terms of addressing this topic in details. So I will be looking at the presentation in a different or certain overview. One of the first things we'll do is to first understand what we mean by well-being. Look at the understanding, the definition, the historical background of it, the dimensions of well-being. How do we assess it in terms of saying, am I at a good state of well-being, or I'm struggling in certain aspect of my well-being, not limiting it only to academics and personal, but as we go along, we'll go into details of that. We'll focus on the mental aspect of the dimensions of well-being, look at how to understand stress and the application of the strategies on managing these stressful situations, more especially when we look at international students. So well-being. Let's go. Okay. So recently there has been a massive focus on this concept of human well-being. And this became quite apparent after our horrible experience with COVID-19 in the 20s and 2021. And we know that everybody wants to be well. And this is one of our primary goals of existence, because without well-being, life usually loses its meaning. Our motivation gets lost, and it opens doors for varieties of negativity. There are different perspectives where we look at well-being. It is a dynamic state, not a static or passive state, but a conscious development of whole self. More like saying this is work in progress. On a daily basis, we improve on different aspects of our well-being. And well-being is not the absence of illness or infirmity like we will refer to as we talk about health. Well-being is associated with intentions, choices, actions toward optimizing our state of existence and to thrive in life. It is a positive state of experience by individual and society at large. So there are different ways in which we look at the definition. We will go basic by looking at what Oxford, like we always do in our undergrads, in terms of defining what well-being is. Well-being is a state of being comfortable, being healthy, and also being happy. Historically, there are two paradigms in terms of looking at the psychology of well-being. One is to look at it in terms of hedonism, and this relates to finding happiness, maximizing pleasure in life. It's a theory that looks at the underlying motivation of all human behavior, which is to maximize pleasure and to avoid pain. The second aspect of looking at well-being is eudaimonism. And with this is about achieving thorough living virtuous actions and fulfillments of one's potential, including activities like promoting personal growth and also making sure that on a daily basis, there are forms of improvement that we're able to make in our lives. I zoom on what academic well-being refers to, which is a state of optimal emotional, mental, physical health that allows students to achieve academically. This encompasses affective and cognitive self-concept, in addition to liking the school that you're in, the subject matters, and all aspects of school that will really enhance your performance academically. While we look at personal well-being, which is a good, satisfactory, and desirable state of personal existence or of life in general, it's a multifaceted construct, embracing emotional well-being, satisfying life, vitality, resilience, improving self-esteem, and having a positive mindset. Next, we look at the different dimensions of well-being. Like I said, it's not limited to only academic and personal well-being. We look at about 7, some will call it 8 when they include the intellectual dimension to it. So first we look at mental well-being. With mental well-being, we will focus on it as we go along because we need to zoom on it for this presentation. Physical well-being, Dr. Olubiyi went in details in terms of making sure you have a good exercise routine, proper nutrition, adequate sleep, good sexual health, avoidance of substance of addiction, and disease prevention. While we look at socially, this includes your interaction with others, with the society at large, building healthy relationships, acquiring good communication skills, building and maintaining good support structure, interaction with your family, friends, peers, and always making sure we have a good social adjustment skills. Financially, we look at your primary financial obligations that needs to be addressed, budgeting skills, exploring good financial support. When we look at students, it's more about those that could afford your tuitions, access to scholarship, grants, bursaries, and all of that. Spiritually, this relates to our beliefs, our principles, our values, which gives us direction in life, our interaction in terms of the higher power, God, and all sorts that we could look at in terms of spiritual development. When we look at our environment, it's in terms of how we relate with nature, our sense of peace, avoiding your noise level, which I know is quite common in student accommodations, avoiding second smoking, even if you're not a smoker, and everything else that you could do to make your environment more favorable. And lastly, we look at your vocational well-being. This involves using our skills and talents in order to gain purpose, happiness, and a fulfilled life. It's more about expanding your knowledge, listening to news, know what is happening in your surrounding, exploring your self-discovery tools, goal setting, time management, exploring your interest, and definitely your academic endeavors. So how do we know our level of wellness? There are a lot of different tools that we can use to assess how well we are. And these tools usually looks at those 8 dimensions that we've mentioned here. The tools can be those that you can do in terms of your worksheet. There are those that you do online, and we have the ones that that are done by professionals to really assess your level of wellness. So in situations where your scores are quite low in certain areas, those are the areas that you need to focus on so that you'll be able to maximize your level of wellness. So with doing those assessments, you can come to certain conclusions of identifying those areas where you are okay, those areas where you are truly successful in terms of having the maximum points, and areas where you need to improve. Because without this well-being in all these areas, chances of performing excellently academically becomes difficult. So focusing on mental wellness. Mental wellness includes all aspects of mental health, emotional health, and as well as how we interact with all these aspects of wellness. It influences our thinking, our feelings, the way we behave in our daily lives. It affects each dimension of wellness and includes coping with normal difficulties of life. It also addresses other psychiatric conditions such as your anxiety disorders, your depression, mood disorders in general, psychotic problems, substance use disorder, cognitive deficits, and suicidality. Coming back to the cognitive aspect, we've noticed that students nowadays have this challenge of concentration. With a high diagnosis of ADHD being common in students. And when you assess this critically, you realize not all these patients or students actually have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. These are just problems of concentration which could be related to depleted mental wellness. And we've noticed this is also leading to a lot of problems of addiction to stimulants also in the student population. Mental illness also include stress management, more especially looking at effective stress management skills. So there are practical strategies for mental wellness, which Dr. Shola actually went through. This includes your relaxation, self-care strategy, practicing mindfulness. You seek support from family, friends, and community, professional consults, like your psychologists, counselors, and psychiatrists. Definitely regular exercise, even if it's not up to 20 minutes in a day. Balanced lifestyle, more especially avoiding your caffeine, your stimulants, your fizzy drinks, sugar. Enough sleep. We're looking at 6 to 8 hours of sleep in a day. Expressing your feelings and emotions effectively. In the Yoruba adage, we say sorosoke, meaning express yourself so that people can identify when you're having problems and be able to assist you. And definitely practicing positive self-talk. So what is stress? One man's food is another man's poison. What will stress one student might actually be something that another student had pleasure in doing. A good example would be a student that enjoys social interaction. will definitely be happy if he's been invited to a social gathering. Whereas a student that has social anxiety problems will definitely have a super stressful situation in that with that invitation. So looking at stress, this is a psychological and physiological response to any event that upsets our balance. And it's a person's response to events that happen in our environment. We measure stress by looking at the level of arousal or stimulation. But at the same time, we do need stress, to live a normal life. There is a normal homeostasis level of arousal that we function best with. And if something unusual in the environment occurs, this can lead to, a higher level of arousal. According to your general adaptation syndrome model, there are three phases of stress in arousal. One is your alarm state. So this is your initial state of response, which can be either you flight or you fight, meaning you run away or you confront the stress. We have the second stage of resistance. This is where you are adapting, finding possible solutions to resolve this stressful event. And if this event continues and becomes overwhelming, it can lead to what we call the exhaustion. And once exhaustion starts coming in, that is when the decompensation happens in us. We start presenting with symptoms of stress, and that can also affect our functioning generally. Yak and Dodson law indicates that physiological and mental functioning is optimal at a mild and moderate level of arousal, but it diminishes as arousal becomes extreme. Reflecting on this, it means if we don't have any stress in our life, chances are our level of motivation might really drop because we don't have anything that is really pushing us to act. Whereas if the stress becomes too heavy or too high, we can decompensate. And that can lead to presentation of symptoms of stress. Looking at these symptoms, we have your cognitive symptoms like your poor concentration, memory problems, becoming too difficult to make decisions. Even when you make decisions, they are poor because the judgment is not so good. We can't think clearly. There are negative thoughts, a lot of worrying that is presented under cognitive symptoms. Emotionally, we see people becoming extremely irritable, they become impatient, moody, overwhelmed, the mood drops, they become anxious. These are emotional symptoms of stress. We have physical symptoms like your muscular tensions, tension headaches, chest pain, palpitation, diarrhea, and constipation. The lists are longer than this. These are just examples to give us an idea what are the kind of symptoms that we'll see. And lastly is our behavioral symptoms like people overeating or even having poor appetite. They either sleep a lot or not sleep at all. They socially isolate themselves. They have nervous habits like nail biting, misuse of alcohol to suppress these stressful symptoms, or even other substances. So what are those things that cause stress? Because these are called stressors. Looking at this aspect, we have two types of stressors. One are your huge stress. These are positive stress. Good things happening to you. Having a new house, having a new baby, relocating. I mean, these are positive events in life, but because you need to adapt and it's something that is unusual in terms of your normal day-to-day activity, it can trigger stress. So these are good stresses. And we have the ones that nobody wants, which is called the distress. They are negative stressors like failing your exam, losses, financial crises, mission accommodation problems. They can cause distress, trigger all those stress symptoms that we mentioned. There's another concept called your youth stress. I mean, this is any kind of information or sensory stimulus or situation that is perceived as unimportant. So looking at yourself as a human and the events that's happening, for you, you don't count it as anything that is impactful on your life. So stress results when the demand of the environment are greater than the individual perceived, that what the person can perceive or tolerate. And this causes all the stress symptoms that we spoke about earlier on. So let's look at common challenges of international students. One of it is what we call your cultural adjustment, because you are moving from certain areas where you are used to something totally strange. And unfortunately, if this is not managed properly, it can lead to what we call a cultural shock. In terms of adapting to new culture, sometimes people feel disorientated. There's a difference in terms of the social norms that you have to adapt to. You have language barriers. Sometimes you might even need to learn some of the language for you to, to be able to interact in that community. We have your academic challenges because this is a new or different educational system. You have heavy academic workload, financial challenges in terms of tuition fees. It's well documented that international students pay higher tuitions than a local student. Living expenses, in situations where they even allow students to work, there is a limit to the number of hours that they could work in terms of sustaining themselves. Problems with social integration, making friends. If it's not done properly, we have isolation. It can lead to lack of support system. Mental health issues, like having a lot of stress and anxiety in terms of this adaptation. Homesickness, missing home, family, familiar environment, friends, and challenges with access to resources. Dr. Shola actually mentioned, his own experience in this phase in terms of access to resources, because sometimes you are not aware of this availability, and then sometimes with challenge to healthcare and social support. We also look at logistical challenges for international students in terms of your visa, expiring, immigration issues. I'm sure we've seen all over the world, mostly your first countries, first world countries. This is becoming a big challenge for most international students there. We spoke about the healthcare access and challenges with accommodations. So how do we manage these challenges in terms of our stress management strategies? First is to identify the stressors. Like I said before, what will stress a student might not be a stress for the other student. But identify your own stressors and look at resources or ways in which you can resolve the stress. An example is if you have a dental problem, you don't go to a mechanic to fix it. So identify people that are experts in the field to assist you with the challenges that you are having. The application of serenity prayer has been, a golden rule in the field of psychiatry, where we say God, or we say the higher power, give us the serenity or peace of mind to accept certain things that we cannot change, and the courage to change the ones that we can. and most importantly, the wisdom to know the difference. Because if there are circumstances that you need to humble yourself and find a way to accept, but instead you're looking at forcefully making a change on it, you might get frustrated because the change might not happen. So application of serenity prayer has really helped a lot of students to find one way or the other the peace to accept and move on with their challenges or strike a change or look for resources to assist them with change. We have your relaxation techniques. The most common one is your Jacobson progressive muscle relaxation. This is a method that has been documented to assist a lot in stress management. Depending on how intense you want to do it, but you can have a comfortable seat or even lying down on your bed. You select different groups of muscles. It can be your upper limb. You tense for a few seconds, breathe in deeply, and then you release. This helps a lot in relaxing the muscles and also your tension, neck, backache, and evidence is there to show that you will always benefit from this relaxation technique. We have your meditation, your diaphragmatic breathing, your guided imagery. Guided imagery or visualization is the use of language to create a calming or sensory-rich environment in one's imagination. Probably an example would be if you are someone that loves going to the beach, you could have the imagination of being in a beach, probably with your beach mat, there in a very lovely weather, with a breeze, and you are imagining looking at your horizon and assuming you are in there. With this imagery, it has a way of working on our sensations to release our stress level. Practicing mindfulness is the quality of being fully engaged in the present moment without overthinking or analyzing the experience. We've seen people going into the field of having yoga, even if it's not the deep of it, but practicing a way in which you can find peace within yourself. Physical activities and exercise has been dealt with quite well with Dr. Shola. Healthy eating, definitely quite critical in stress management, because sometimes when people are stressed, that's the time they eat a lot or drink a lot of caffeine, which unfortunately pushes more of your neurochemicals that could worsen your anxiety levels. Cutting down on sugar has been extremely beneficial in terms of your eating habit and avoiding your junk meals. Alcohol and all those other stimulants are things that needs to be avoided, when we look at healthy eating. Adequate sleep, you can never go wrong with that. Your 6 to 8 hours of deep sleep uninterrupted. Laughter is a medicine. We learn to adapt this sense of humor and incorporating this in our busy day life definitely helps. There are situations where you see what we call your laughter clinic, where they actually teach people the act of laughing. Self-expression, I mentioned earlier on. I'm going to repeat it again because it's something that is common in Nigeria now, which we say sorosoke, meaning speak out loud, express yourself. Sometimes when you're going through challenges and you do not speak out, you might see yourself in the dungeon, whereas help is just around you. So learn to speak out, especially in an effective way in terms of seeking for help. Activating our social support, you can never go wrong with that. Your friends, your family, your peers, in terms of help, accessing support system in terms of your school facilities that are there, speaking to your lecturers if you're having challenges, accessing platform like your NANSSA to look out for you in terms of any of those challenges that you might be facing. And finally, we have your cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring is about identifying our irrational or maladaptive thoughts that contribute to negative emotions. We call our thoughts the powerhouse because our emotions can never, ever disagree with our thoughts. If our thought says, this is bad, this is negative, emotion is going to tell you, thank you, you said this is bad, and the next thing you will see the negative emotions that we have. So in other words, when we want to achieve a positive emotions, we should go back to our powerhouse and restructure what we're thinking so that the outcome of those thoughts will be what is positive, and definitely our emotions is going to follow accordingly. So to succeed in life, I'm going to end with this. You need three things. One is your wishbone, which is our dreams, our ambitions. A backbone, our resistance, our tenacity, and a funny bone, having fun and make sure we enjoy what we do. This is by an American artist called Reba McIntyre. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Dr. Motojesi. We really do appreciate. We are so grateful. It's a very insightful one, and we've actually got a couple of questions here, and I think we should take some of those few questions. Then we go to the third speaker. Then after we have the momentum and CompCare speak, we now ask the other questions so as to manage our time appropriately. I'm going to share some of the questions in the group chat. We've got about 5 questions for Dr. Olubiyi, and also about 3 questions and thereabout for you, sir. I'm sure others will keep popping in. I'm going to share 3 of Dr. Olubiyi's question on the group chat. Yes. Okay, let me just put the name, Control A, delete. Let me do this. Control C. Okay. For Dr. Olubiyi, we've got if my studies are causing me to feel high level of anxiety, what strategies can I use to combat this within the study environment? We've also got another question that says, how can I keep my immune system strong during peak studies/work period? I'm believing this person might actually be doing their postdoc because they are both studying and working at the same time. Or maybe the person is just a postgraduate student or undergrad that also works as in work part-time. And the third question is, how can I optimize my diet and exercise routine to improve energy level and focus, particularly during period of high stress? Yes. Dr. Olubiyi, sir? I don't know if you can also see the questions on the chat box.
I'm going to look at the chat box now. I was
Okay.
trying to write that down. Let me see. Okay, I think I can see it. Let me say the first one. Give me a second. Okay. My studies are causing me to feel high level. What strategy can I? Okay. I'm going to start with the first one. Let's say there is no one size fits all answers, or something that works for you and that doesn't, might work for you and might work for another person. But one of the most important things when you are feeling high level of anxiety is to take back. I mean, to move back a little. For example, if you are preparing for your exam, you've been studying so hard, you feel so much anxiety, that is the time for you to rest. It is one of the most important things that you can do. Engage the time that you are resting to do other things like meditating, looking for support, drink a lot of water. If you love music, it's beautiful. Listen to music. If you love prayer, pray. So those are, in terms of your mental health, those are really, really necessary. And if that doesn't work, or if all those interventions don't work, then probably you need to talk to somebody. You might also need to talk to your doctor or go to the clinic. Sometimes you might be given some anti-anxiety medications just to calm you down. I think those are the things I would suggest. Let me go to I'm not sure if I'm able to do justice to that. I'm going to go to the second question. How can I keep my immune system strong during peak study, work, and periods? The same thing is applied, the mental wellness. When you rest enough, definitely your immune system will be reinvigorated. The other thing is eating healthy is very essential. People say, okay, when you are stressed, the level of vitamin B complex or all those vitamins can be very low. It is a known fact. It's a scientific fact. So you can do that. The third one, how can I optimize my diet and exercise routine to improve energy levels and focus, particularly during periods of high stress? Short high interval training, high intensity interval training can help you a lot during that time. 5-10 minutes of doing exercise, either running, jogging, skipping at the how will I say, at the maximum rate that you can go to. You run as fast as possible and then you rest completely. You can do this. That will actually improve your energy. It is not something that is going to have effect immediately, just once, but it's something that you have to do over and over again. But there's also an adage that says, prevention is better than cure. That is why making a lifestyle of resting, a lifestyle of adequate exercise, a lifestyle of talking to people that can help before you actually get to that stage. We nip in the bud most of the things that we are talking about. So those are the vague things that we can look at. Then the other thing is that eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, they contain a lot of nutrients that can help you to navigate this period of stress. I don't know whether I've been able to do some justice to that.
No,
I don't want to go into some to some details, but there are some specific like high precision diets that can help you. Probably you can see a dietitian and some other or nutritionists that can actually give you a guideline on some of those, depending on your situation, depending on your chronic conditions too. That can also be tailored.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I think you did justice to that. I think you did justice to that. Just a quick one for Dr. Ayo Motojesi. There are two questions that I picked out. we are hoping that we'll have time to take the others before we round up. So the first question says, how can I build self-compassion and reduce negative self-talk related to my ADHD challenges? And also the second one, how can I best manage the feeling of overwhelm that comes with ADHD in relation to my academics and personal goals? Dr. Ayosa.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, these are quite insightful question. Like I previously said, that ADHD is something that's more like in fashion, unfortunately, with students nowadays. But the reality that we are picking is this is overdiagnosed. Sorry that I'm saying this, but I'm not referring to you in particular. I think 2022-23, there was even an institution in the US, I'm not going to mention name, that had to be charged because they were making students to make a diagnosis of ADHD online, and prescriptions are being given to them. But it got to the notice of the regulating authority, and certain penalties were actually, laid on the practitioners and actually the institution also. But coming back to your question, in individuals that has ADHD, we do know that they have challenges with studies. But one thing for sure is to know that knowledge is power. First is to understand your condition in terms of ADHD, because with ADHD, you might not be able to pull your level of concentration like an average person when it comes to duration of studies. We have your Pomodoro principles that you can use, which actually helps a lot of patients with ADHD, because you have your 25 minutes concentration span that Pomodoro works with. You can increase it based on your level of concentration. And then you have your 5 minutes of interval for you to refresh. And then you're coming back fresh and probably more focused in terms of the task. So you are dividing your task into small, small bits that will not drain you in terms of your length of concentration. Because without the concentration, definitely memory will not come. So applying your Pomodoro principle will definitely help you in terms of your study. In terms of the self-talk, the reason why it's called self-talk is because you are the one that is making the talk. It's not anybody else. So you can start by being, I think it's more than just nice to yourself, by being compassionate with yourself to say, from today on, let me start by looking at my strengths. We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, we have our threats, and we have our opportunities. The moment you start focusing more on your weaknesses and your threats, it will definitely affect the kind of esteem that you will give to yourself. But when you focus on your strength and your opportunities, it's the same you. You will be able to wake up your self-esteem again. Because ADHD it's yes, a condition, but it's not the end of life. We've seen people that does well, even for the fact that they have ADHD. The other aspect is in terms of effective treatment, because there are different ranges of treatment. Because when you are on a good dose on a medication that really suits your condition, your performance is almost equal to an average person that doesn't have ADHD. I think that will assist you somehow.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Um, I think we'll look at the second question before we round up the event. Permit me to introduce the third speaker to us. By name, Dr. Samuel Ikechukwu Eze. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Dazabet Properties Limited. He spearheads the development of innovative herbal medication tailored to combat diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. A seasoned clinical psychologist and a doctor of natural medicine. Dr. Eze specializes in diabetes and cardiovascular health. His academic credentials include a Bachelor's of Science in Biochemistry and Psychology, University College Dublin, as well as a master's degree in Public Health, University of Liverpool, and herbalism, that's Lymon Institute, UK. Furthermore, he has advanced his expertise through a Doctor of Natural Medicine degree, diplomas in herbalism, anatomy, and natural medicine, and an advanced diploma, Doctor of Naturopathic Medicine. In addition to his professional accomplishments, Dr. Eze served as the chairman of the Labour Party South African chapter, underscoring his commitment to public service and community leadership. Please, before I just give Dr. Eze the floor, I need to quickly acknowledge the presence of some few individuals that came in the course of the two sessions that we already had. We have the presence of the immediate past president, Mr. Abdulrazak Abubakar. Thank you for being in the house with us. Also, all members of staffs of Momentum that are present. I think we have Melville Mr. Nelville from Momentum and others. So, Dr. Eze, you can take the floor 10 minutes. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Ikechukwu Eze, sir.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. How are you? Sorry, let me put on the video. Okay. Mr. James said, my name is Ikechukwu Eze, and I will stand on the existing protocol. I also want to thank the organizers of this event for this rare opportunity to talk to Nigerian students. And in the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And I believe that what you're doing today, it's a wonderful thing. Enlightening the students about health challenges, especially being in a foreign country. The most important thing in life is your health. Without your health, nothing else matters. So today, I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm just going to talk about diabetes and the relationship with cardiovascular disease. Now, diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs when the body doesn't produce enough insulin or can't use it properly. And we have two types of diabetes. We have type 1 diabetes, which is a lifelong sickness. It destroys the cells that produces insulin. So basically, you're not producing insulin, so you can't use up, your body can't use up sugar. So you depend on insulin uptake. Then type 2 diabetes, that's the common type of diabetes, usually in adults, where the body becomes resistant to insulin or doesn't make enough insulin. So let's look at the symptoms of diabetes. We have increased thirst, dry mouth, frequent urination, fatigue, blood vision, unexplained weight loss. This is when you start losing weight, but you're eating healthy, but you can't find out or decide what is causing your weight loss. Numbness or tingling in your hands or feet, slow healing sores or cuts, frequent skin or vaginal yeast infection. One alarming thing today is that statistics shows that about 537 million adults aged between 20 and 79 are currently living with diabetes. You see, when we talk about diabetes, we always say, oh, I'm not old, I'm not 40, I'm not 50. Why am I so high? No, that shouldn't be worrying about that. But the truth is that the way with what we are eating a lot of GMO foods everywhere, people as low as 22, 20 years old are suffering from type 2 diabetes. And it's becoming alarming because the problem is that a lot are undiagnosed and they walk around without knowing that they're already pre-diabetic. If you go further, in South Africa alone, diabetes is the second highest cause of death, followed by tuberculosis. Now, 17.2% of men are currently living with diabetes in South Africa, compared to 24.7% of women. Now, the shocking revelation is this: 69% of men and 64.9% of women are pre-diabetics. I'm just using statistics in South Africa, where we are, as a yardstick. Now, currently, a lot of adults are undiagnosed, and that is one major factor. That is why, if you listen to the society today, you will hear that somebody just fell down and died. And some people will say they gave him poison. Some say they don't know what caused it. But because nobody bothers to go check their vitals or to know their health status, these things are happening. So that's why I chose this topic, because this is a very vital topic that we keep neglecting, because we believe that this sickness is associated with old age. But today, this sickness is ravaging our youths, and they don't even know about it. So now let's look at what is the cause of diabetes. 1, lifestyle. Being overweight or obese, being physically inactive, and eating unhealthy diets can all increase the risk of developing diabetes. Smoking also doubles the risk of type 2 diabetes, because at youthful age, it's easy to enjoy ourselves. We go drinking, we smoke, we party, but we should also watch out for our liver, because we are now setting a channel for different types of illnesses. 2, family history. Family history of diabetes, it shows that it's genetically in your system. So basically, when your father or your uncle or your aunties that are passed on are suffering from diabetes, it's time for you to be conscious that this is in the lineage. This might be coming to me. So what do? You start a preventive measure in time. Number 3, pancreatic issues. Damage to pancreas, disease like cystic fibrosis or chronic pancreatitis or removal of the pancreas can all lead to diabetes. Number 4, medications. Long-term use of certain medications can impair insulin secretion or increase insulin resistance. Popping up pills. At a youthful age, it's always good to explore different things. But what is telling us today is that the world is changing and the dynamisms are really changing. These things are beginning to affect our health. And the food we are eating, because they are all fertilized, does not help our system. So one needs to be very careful when we're popping those pills. Then we look at the gestational diabetes. These are diabetes that when the sugar rises during pregnancy, those are hormonal changes during pregnancy, or hormonal disease like Cushing syndrome or hyperthyroidism. They all can cause diabetes. Then there is autoimmune disease. An autoimmune attack on the pancreas can result in a total lack of insulin production. So these are the causes of diabetes. Now, let's look at the effect of diabetes on the human anatomy. Diabetes can cause many health problems by damaging blood cells and nerves throughout the body. Number one is the heart. High blood pressure, heart attack, or heart failure can occur due to damaged vessels. Number two is eye. Damaged blood vessels in the eye can lead to vision loss or blindness. This is called diabetic retinopathy. Number four, feet. Poor blood flow and nerve damage can lead to foot ulcer and an increased risk of amputation. That's what we call diabetic neuropathy. That's when you walk, the blood circulation in your muscles on the feet are no more as it used to be. So you start feeling pains. Now, mouth. The gum disease and cavities can occur due to harmful bacteria. The stomach. Diabetes affects the stomach by damaging nerves in the stomach, which slows or stops digestion. This is known as gastroparesis. Brain damage. Damaged blood vessels in the brain can lead to stroke or memory loss. Sexual health. Erectile dysfunction and vaginal dryness can occur due to damaged nerves and reduced blood supplies. Most diabetic patients are suffering from ED today, and that's because of the nerve damages. Skin. The skin infection and changes such as dark patches can occur. Diabetes can also cause chronic kidney diseases. They reduce the kidney functions and your EGFR will drop. That's when you know that your nerves for real. And this is known as diabetic nephropathy. Diabetes can also affect our central nervous system. Long-lasting nerve damage can occur, which can increase the risk of injury. Now, there are different types of treatments for diabetes. There's allopathic treatment, that includes medication and lifestyle changes. There's medications like metformins, insulin injections, GLPI, and the inhibitors and all that. But I'm going to leave that and I'm going to talk about the herbal treatment of diabetes. Now, one thing is that diabetes is managed. When it comes, it comes. It's managed. When somebody tells you, oh, you take this medication and the diabetes is gone, don't be deceived. You will keep managing that. So the whole goal is to drive your sugar level down to a norm where it is no more affecting or damaging your nerves. In recent times, natural medicine has taken center stage in management of diabetes and other chronic illnesses. The advent of scientific analysis of every herb have narrowed down the use of each herb to cure different illnesses. About 60 to 80% of South African population uses nutraceuticals products for the treatment of different types of ailments. 80% of African populations are dependent on herbs for healing. The global herbal market, because when we talk about herbs, people will say, what is that? Why are we talking about this? Is it quantified? But one thing I want to bring to your knowledge today is that every single herb has been scientifically analyzed, dosed, and the phytochemicals and flavonoids extracted for healing different kinds of illnesses. Now, the global medicine market size was valued as $216.4 billion in 2023 alone, and is projected to grow to 233 in 2025. There are a couple of herbs, if used in the right way, has the ability to manage diabetes properly without complications. And these herbs has minimal or no side effects. I'm going to give you a simple tip here today. This is a simple remedy. Now, when I say remedy, let no one mistake it as a permanent treatment. Diabetes, high blood pressures are managed. But these are simple things you can do at home to keep your sugar and your high blood pressure at bay. They will be in the norm. You can teach this to your fathers and mothers. These are simple helps. So now I'm going to give you 4 different herbs that you can use and tell you how to prepare them to be able to control your sugar and your diabetes, your blood pressure on a daily basis. One is bay leaf. Bay leaf supports blood sugar metabolisms and digestion. Another one is hibiscus flower. In recent years, University of Nigeria and Nsukka has done extensive research on hibiscus flower, which we call zobo, and it's been proven that it's more effective than amlodipine in treating high blood pressure. So hibiscus flower helps lower blood pressure and promotes heart health. Another one is guava liver. Guava leaves enhances insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and improves digestion. Another one is cloves. Cloves contains eugenol. One of the major issues with diabetic patients is body weakness, body pains. And the eugenol in cloves has been used in the production of pain relief medications. So when combined together with these ingredients, you will get a perfect medication to manage your blood pressure and your sugar. Now, this is the dosages. You use 4 bay leaves, a handful of hibiscus flower, 6 guava leaves, and a teaspoon of cloves in a liter of water. You boil them when it starts boiling, you reduce the heat and simmer it for 15 minutes. You take a cup every day. If you use that consecutively for 10 days, you will see an amazing changes in your blood pressure and in your sugar. My company is Daxabet, and we have a medication that so far we've been able to produce. It's called Kaisulin. It's an herbal supplement for the management of diabetes, high blood pressure, treatment of obesity, and high cholesterol. These herbal supplements have undergone different laboratory experiments to achieve the most efficacious medication to support the management of diabetes and the treatment of obesity and high cholesterol. Kaisulin is a combination of different herbal plants that interact well with each other to achieve the most efficacious supplement to manage diabetes and treat obesity and high blood pressure. So once more, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Eze. We really do appreciate. And I think diabetes is one of the things that most of us students actually deal with without even knowing. Because as the previous speakers have spoken, we realize that a lot of us engage in eating junk foods because it seems to be the easiest thing we can actually lay our hands upon just to navigate our study life or our work life, depending on which one that is relevant to us in this case. Thank you, sir. I'm sure people would definitely pop in questions. We are about to get to another segment of today's topic, which is of today's event, which is actually discussing with representative from CompCare and Momentum. CompCare and Momentum are well-known medical aid service providers that have been existing in the country for years. And these 2 medical aid service providers are on the top list of Nigerian students in South Africa, and I'm sure other international students as well. Without wasting much of our time, I will start with the representative of CompCare, Miss Rikki Woodin. I hope I'm pronouncing the surname correctly. Apologies if not. Miss Rikki is the head of student segment at Momentum Health Solutions and has been with the company for 22 years. She holds a BCom in marketing management and a master's in business leadership. Her years of experience spans 18 in financial services and 28 in healthcare, as well as 31 in sales. Miss Rikki is going to be speaking to us, talking about momentum products just briefly. Then we call on CompCare as well. At the same time, we sent out a questionnaire for students to fill. We had a couple of questions that we've actually sent across to CompCare and Momentum. But I'm sure students will still have questions popping in. Yes, we said we would round up around 12, but permit us to extend to 12:30, because this is also a very important segment in today's event. So Miss Rikki, you can take the floor, ma'am.
Good. Yeah, it's still morning, a few minutes. Thank you very much for the opportunity and also inviting us to the session. We're really looking forward, and we do see the value of engagement and having these sessions and workshops, and so that we get a better understanding also of the needs of our clients. I just want to share my presentation. Just go to mute this thing that is. Okay, just want to make sure that everybody can see the screen and that my audio is clear. Great.
Yes, it is.
Great, thank you. I think without further ado, and it also aligns well with the topic and the theme of today's session, is our purpose is to focus on more health and wellness for more students for less. Momentum Health Solutions is one of the key players in the segment, and also taking care of our members for all international students, which includes students from Nigeria. I think the agenda for today is we do understand the dynamics of medical schemes, and it's often a very foreign concept, specifically for students enrolling on insurance or medical schemes the first time. And we know it's not the priority. The priority is to come and study in SA. So I really want to set the scene to share the dynamics of a medical scheme and the roles and the different players in that environment. I'll touch on Momentum Medical Scheme and specifically the benefits, which is customized also for our student population, the additional lifestyle benefits, digital tools and enhancements. It's key for self-service and also the support that we provide to our members. The student value, just sharing the benefit of the offering that we give to students, and then some closing remarks. When we look at students and the medical scheme, I think what is often ignored completely is that the medical scheme actually belongs to the members of the scheme. There's no directors or shareholders in a medical scheme environment. It is a non-profit entity, and it needs to keep 25% of its contributions in reserves to make sure that it can cover claims, no matter the size of claims. If we go back to COVID-19 and the impact it had on medical schemes, and that's also one of the reasons the scheme is not there for profit, but it needs to be liquid at all times. The Board of Trustees and the Principal Officer basically is responsible for the medical scheme, and 50% of the Board of Trustees needs to be representatives of members of the scheme. So they need to belong to the scheme as well. And the balance can then be elected other specialists, like we've got some medical practitioners on the board as well, but 50% is actually members and can even be students that can serve on the board of the scheme. There's also the administrator and managed care service provider. We represent Momentum Health, which is the administrator and managed care provider. So we are key to make sure that we process claims, we make sure that we have agreements with healthcare providers in place and so forth. And that is why the healthcare providers, your doctors, your hospitals, your specialists are key component in a medical scheme environment, because they form and they obviously involved in the medical scheme. The Council for Medical Scheme, they are like the governor of medical schemes. So we cannot just do what we want. We always need to adhere to the Medical Schemes Act and the rules. And then giving advice to students when students ask us about other options, about benefits. We are obviously guided by the Financial Services Conduct Authority, so we need to be licensed to give advice. Not every person can say, I know medical scheme, I can help you. So these are the key role players in the medical scheme environment. Then when we look at the scheme and the role of the scheme, I think definitely first and foremost is to comply with the Medical Schemes Act. There's a lot of regulations, rules that we need to adhere to. We must accept all applicants, so we can't look at a student's age, whether you're 5 years old or 80 years old, and say, okay, we'll take you, but we'll exclude you. We don't want you. We only want students. We cannot decline members. The maximum waiting periods that we can put on any member is a 3-month general waiting period or 12-month condition specific. And this is waived for international students. The only waiting period that we do have is if the student is pregnant at the time of joining. If the student falls pregnant a month later after membership started, there's no waiting period. So all waiting periods are in effect waived for international students. Open enrollment, we can't look again on your age, your gender, your state of health, your demographics. We're not allowed to discriminate and have to accept every person that wants to enroll. Financially sound, I touched on that. We need to keep funds in the reserves to meet the scheme's benefits and requirements. Same contribution, so we can't charge a person that's ill more for benefits and a younger person give them discount because they're young. We have to charge the same contribution for a specific plan. It's also compulsory for us, I'll touch on that, to cover 271 major expenses. We call it prescribed minimum benefits, and we cannot put any limits on those benefits. So it's full cost. We must pay claims timeously and allow members to change options on an annual basis. So that's the role of the scheme. Then we also need to look at the role of the member to read and understand the benefits and restrictions of their plan or their option. There are many different plans in the industry, different medical schemes in the industry. So the member needs to make sure that they understand what benefits do they have when they join the plan. They need to consult the correct healthcare providers. Some options, you can go to any healthcare provider, which comes at a cost. Freedom of choice costs a lot more than maybe limiting a member to certain providers. So that is important just to understand the benefits of the specific plan as well. To obtain pre-authorization for certain benefits, that authorization is not to make the lives difficult of people. It guarantees payment also to the service provider, to that hospital, to that specialist. So that's why certain benefits must be pre-authorized to make sure that those benefits will be covered in full. Submit claims within 4 months. That's a general rule in the industry. A claim becomes stale if it's not reached by the scheme within 4 months. So it's always just important we send out claim statements and so forth to make sure that the claim was received. Open and honesty with the scheme, I think that speaks to itself. And then I think the scheme rules always apply. Benefits are not negotiable. It's not like a bank account where you pay 5,000 Rand and you can choose how you want to use your money. There's specific benefit components in the plan. So it's not negotiable. You cannot exchange your specialist benefit for dentistry. The rules are fixed per option. And then termination rules is to give notice when you intend to terminate membership. Then Momentum Medical Scheme, we are and been in the scheme and in the industry for many years, taking or covering more than 1 million students over a number of years. Momentum Health, the administrator, we do cover more than 2.8 million lives. Obviously, we administer different schemes, of which Momentum Medical Scheme is one. Momentum Medical Scheme is the third largest scheme in South Africa, covering 154,000 families. We've got a dedicated student channel. So myself and the team, we take care of more than 30,000 students and their needs. So we are dedicated to the student segment. And then we've obviously been in the industry for 34 years, and we've been accredited by the Council and the International Education Association of South Africa. So they are almost another governing body that makes sure that we also take care of the needs of students. We focus on affordability. I think financial stress is a real thing, specifically in a student environment where the emphasis is to study. So to pay a lot of money for medical cover was never the intention, but we also want to make sure that we offer comprehensive cover in and out of hospital, easy to understand benefits, and then we also have some free benefits that we offer to students, but I'll touch on those. Okay, the main component of medical cover is the major medical section. This is extremely costly to insure. If you look at this, benefit is private hospital cover. It's a major cost driver in a medical schemes environment. Casualty or emergency cover, a small accident can run into a few hundred thousands of rands, so that is important. Emergency transport, again, just a general ambulance transfer that is by road costs about 10 to 15,000 rand per transport. We have to make sure that there's cover from day one, so that there's no waiting period that the medical scheme only covers after a number of days in hospital. Pre-authorization to access this benefit is required. And we've got various means to get that authorization. One is via WhatsApp. We also have authorization within the Momentum app or then via call center. So the major medical section, hospital cover, we cover any private hospital in South Africa. So here we do not limit any international student where they can be hospitalized for emergencies as well as elective procedures. The cover is 100% of the Momentum Health contribution, and then MRI, CT scans, if it is linked to a prescribed minimum benefit, so a severe accident, an emergency, it is covered in full, and admission is required. I know sometimes students believe if they visit a doctor at hospital, it must be unlimited because I'm in the hospital. A hospital is linked to admission. So that means authorization is required, and the casualty rooms, they are private facilities and they do not form part of the hospital section. So that's just important to note when you look at this benefit. Then the next section is emergency and casualty. Again, a very important, a major risk component. This cannot be controlled. You never know when you're going to need emergency cover. So it's really unforeseen, unexpected health condition, and it requires immediate surgical or medical treatment. It's also in the case of the student's life is in jeopardy, and often it is linked to emergency transport as well. In this instance, there's no maximum of the benefit that we'll pay, but there is a small component that the member contributes, which is 110 Rand, and then the balance will be picked up by the medical scheme. So again, authorization is required. It is a major risk component. And then some casualties, because of the severity, and it might be also because of the number of patients that they need to attend to, they might want the member to pay a small portion and then can claim back from Momentum. So it just depends on the day, the time, and also the how busy the casualty is at the time when the student consults or attends to the emergency. Netcare 911 is our service provider for emergency transport. It is all transport, it is road, it is also air, and the dispatch of the transportation will depend on the urgency and also vital signs and level of care that's required. Again, the emergency transport, Netcare 911, will look at the location of the students and also where the student is at the time of the emergency to make sure there are sufficient service providers that can attend to the student. Just important to note, it is not an emergency Uber or taxi service for a planned transport to hospital or discharge back home or to move family members closer to the student. The 911 service is for emergencies only. Then I thought it is important because often people don't think of ending up in hospital. Just the cost of 2 emergency cases we had for students, and you can see the expense. Pancreatic surgery, 16 days in ICU, 2 days high care, cost in excess of 1.1 million rand, and a neonatal case of a student that had a baby, 23 days neonatal ICU, high care for both the mother as well as the child, neonatal ward, 60 days, also running close to R1 million. And then I think the rest is just for share some other cases, even a small appendix surgery or intestinal incision or excision can also run into a few $100,000. So I think it's important, although you don't think of ending up in hospital, these are the real major cost driver, and also the importance of getting that authorization to make sure the claims would be paid for. Then the next section, most utilized by students, is day-to-day expenses. These benefits, as I mentioned, they have separate benefits, a specialist benefit, a dental benefit, an optometry benefit. They all, if you claim from the one, it doesn't affect the other one. So it's not a bank account where every money is pulled into one account. And if you use one, you only have the balance left to access another benefit. So each one stand on their own. Members are limited to go to network providers to access day-to-day benefits, but they can go to anyone on the network. So they don't have to select a certain provider and just stick with that one provider. As long as they visit our website, visit the doctor lists that's available, they can go to anyone on the network. The benefits at visiting a doctor, for example, is unlimited. Specialist or physiotherapy benefits, those are limited. I'll touch on those. There are 2 visits. Again, this is day-to-day out of hospital. There's other primary care benefits, which I'll share as well. And then we also give virtual consults. Sometimes students battle with transport, and in that case, they can make use of the virtual consultations. The network doctor is really key in the medical scheme benefit because this is the highest touch point. They are the service provider for obviously consultations, medicine, chronic medicine, a referral for maybe a procedure that needs to be done, x-ray, specialist, and blood test. So most important, and we always educate students, is when they arrive in South Africa, when they find their place of residence, is to look at where these network doctors are located so that they know where to find them when they need to consult. The doctor, as I mentioned, the visits are unlimited. They don't charge any fees, so there's no extra that the student needs to pay when they visit or consult the doctor. They can go to anyone. And then some of these doctors on our website, the doctor's list will indicate whether the doctor is licensed to dispense medicine or whether they will give a script. A lot of our students also make use of the virtual consultations. These are very handy, specifically after hours over weekends, and they can also prescribe medicine or refer for blood tests or x-rays. Just important is to make an appointment with a doctor and be on time. And as I mentioned now upfront, these doctors, because they belong to our network, it's a seamless process. They send the claims to us. You or the student will still receive a claim statement, so you'll know that there's been a claim submitted by the doctor, but you don't. The student doesn't need to submit anything to the scheme. Dentistry also very, very popular. Students can go to any network on the dentist. The network is really large, so there's a large selection available. Most of the dental treatment is preventative, or in case of toothache, for example, extractions, fillings, x-rays, it's all part of the benefit structure. But if students want to see the benefits covered, it is available under the healthcare section on the website. But there's no specialized dentistry like orthodontics, crowns, bridges, root canal. That is seen as specialized, and it doesn't form part of the Ingwe benefit structure. Optometry, again, well utilized by our students. They can go to any doctor on the Ingwe network optometry list. It includes one pair of glasses every 24 months, and the student needs to start doing an eye test to see if they qualify for a pair of glasses. Most important is that we've negotiated a benefit list with these optometrists that includes the lenses, the frame, as well as the eye test. If the student decides on a different set of frame, different lenses, maybe add coating or tinting to their glasses, we will only pay the package deal that was negotiated with the optometrist, and the student will be liable for the balance. So it's important for the student to first find a pair of frames that they're comfortable with before they proceed and have glasses made, because if they choose outside that selection, they will end up paying for quite a big portion of the glasses. It is a 24-month benefit. We understand, unfortunately, students lose their glasses or they damage them. Because it's an entry-level option and we cover optometry, it is available every 24 months or every second year. Specialist or physiotherapy, we cover 2 visits. This is again out of hospital. We have a list of network specialists, but we also cover all specialists in South Africa. So again, it is important for the student to either consult us if they want to avoid paying a portion from their pocket, because there is only 1,350 Rand available per consultation, and there's no upfront payment required for the student. So like for the emergency consultation, we will pay the maximum benefit per visit. And again, important, just 2 visits. This benefit is also subject to authorization because it's got a limit. And specialists are scarce resources. And unfortunately, there's no regulated tariff which they allow to charge. So it's important to ask the specialist upfront what are the rate or fees that they would charge for consultation. And if you are scared as a member that you'll end up being out of pocket or that you'll reach the limit too soon, as you can also request a list of specialists that's linked to the Momentum Network. Medicine prescription, also highly utilized by students. Again, as I mentioned, medicine is included. Some doctors dispense, so they'll have the medicine items in their rooms. If they're not licensed, they will give a script and the student will then go to the nearest pharmacy to collect the medicine. Important is the Ingwe network doctor knows which medicine items are covered. So if the student only goes to the pharmacy and they want to get medicine, it is not going to work because there's no over-the-counter medicine benefit. So the medicine is linked to a consultation and the Ingwe network doctor will know which medicine is covered and then either dispense it or give the student a script. Chronic medicine, we cover 27 chronic conditions, and that is unlimited. The student needs to register on the program. We are linked to MediPost. They're the largest medicine courier pharmacy in the country, and they will make sure they dispense to the place that the student selects they want the medicine to be couriered. And important is the Ingwe network doctor. Part of the fee we pay them is also to assist the student to register on the chronic program. That will also include some blood tests that needs to be done, as well as the medication. Radiology, x-rays are also covered. Again, it is available on the website. Just important, unfortunately, a lot of the orthopedic surgeons can ask a MRI or CT scan if they're not sure what is wrong with the knee, unless it is part of a hospital admission or an emergency. For diagnostic purposes, MRI scans are not covered. Again, just from an affordability point of view, as I mentioned right up front, we want to keep the contribution as low as possible for the student. Pathology is again a big cost driver in a medical scheme environment. We have a whole list of blood tests that's covered. There's no limit as long as the list, the blood test appears on the list of tests covered. We also cover for our female students HPV and PCR screening. And I think what is important is the network doctor will again refer the student for blood tests. They will again know which blood tests are covered. And if the test is not listed on the test that we cover, it is important to note that it will be for the member or the student's own expense. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but again, as the focus is on wellness, we have various programs. These are available free to all students, but I'll go through them in detail. So there's the wellness component, Multiply, which is the rewards program. Hello Doctors, the virtual doctor consultations, international travel works very well for our international students. And then unfortunately with the passing of some student members, the repatriation expense is also covered. So just on Wiser Wellness, it is a digital coach. It focuses on the wellness of the student. It also manages, I'm not going to go through all the wellness components. I think there was a lot of emphasis placed on the importance how mental wellness affects physical wellness of students. And that's why there's a very strong focus. So students access the digital coach, and it is available via the Momentum app. We also have the Multiply Rewards program to reward students for living healthy lifestyle. And we also have the digital health and fitness tool, where it takes less than 12 minutes for students to complete the health assessment as well as the fitness assessment. And in exchange for being aware, managing all those important health components, we also reward our students. The free program Engage is available to students, but lots of students want to join a gym, they want to get bigger partner awards, and then they can enjoy or buy up to the Engage Plus. The fee for the Engage Plus is a little bit more, and that's paid monthly. But again, you can see the difference in benefits of being on the free program versus being on the Engage Plus. And the big one there is obviously the bigger partner discounts, as well as the active and the weekly wins and boosted wins. So that is just information for some of the students that want bigger rewards. Then Hello Doctor, as I mentioned, it is available in the Momentum app, but students can access it also via USSD. And this is a very valuable tool, 24/7 available. And as I mentioned, also available for prescribed medicine as well as pathology and radiology. International travel, benefit available 90 days, and it is 5 million per event. A lot of our postdoctoral fellows do travel, and instead of buying additional insurance when they do travel, it is available for them, and it is underwritten by Europe Assistance and Hollard. Repatriation of mortal remains, again, in the sudden pass of a student or even an unforeseen event or as a result of health, we will cover the expenses to repatriate the mortal remains of the student. Then just the digital enhancements. I think the big one is the digital card and education wrap. We send this to the students when we welcome them to the scheme so that they have the card available on their phone and their device. We also include some access to doctors as well as the visit to find some of the doctors and to engage with us. I've got the video, but I think I'm not going to do the video now. That's just to save some time, but I'll share the presentation afterwards, just how easy it is to download the Momentum app. I just want to share our national footprint. We obviously got 3 offices in Gauteng, Loftus Park, Braamfontein, and Centurion. So Pretoria around Hatfield, close to the universities and embassies. Braam is in Johannesburg, and then Centurion taking care of the eastern suburbs. Cape Town, we've got 2 offices, Eastern Cape in Kebega, and then in Free State, Canubia, and also Bloemfontein. The team, as I mentioned, we've got 15 team members. The biggest team is in Johannesburg because they also service the outlying areas, which includes Mpumalanga, Limpopo, and Northwest Province. We service Free State from the KZN region, Eastern Cape, and then the Western Cape office also taking care of Western and Southern Cape areas. We've got a licensed team. We are accredited to give advice within the team. So Sameshan, Chinsami, and also Neville, that is also on the call in Gauteng and the Pretoria area. As they are unfortunate in our Cape Town area, Clinton Van Boomen in the Eastern Cape, and then Nikita Balram for Free State and KZN. Just to demonstrate the value, I think we often get the question, what is the value and why can't we give discounts to students? I just want to demonstrate the breakdown of the expenses to give an option like the Ingwe benefit. The prescribed minimum benefits, which the medical scheme has to cover in full, amounts to almost R1,000 per member per month. The primary care benefits, that includes the visits to the doctors, the optometry, dentistry, medicine, radiology, pathology is another R242. Administration and managed care expenses to make sure that the contracts are in place, the claims are processed, cards are issued, so forth, another R143. And then if we look at the commission that some of the brokers and advisors earn, as well as admin cost, about R136. So you look at R1,400 and the student pays R589 a month. So it is cross-subsidized. So the students, although we're not allowed to give discounts, members of the scheme support students so that we can offer the benefits at a lower monthly contribution. A further illustration is, again, just to show the difference of a student member on the Ingwe option versus an individual member. A student member, as we know, pay R589 a month. To comply with study visa regulations, they need to pay upfront, which is R1,068, basically your R589 times 12. If you are starting a job or earning a less than R10,000, actually in this example is less than R9,000, the contribution for the exact same benefits goes up from R589 to R1,684 a month for the exact same benefits. There's no, remember, difference in benefits that we can offer for the Ingwe option. So that annual cost is R20,208 per annum. Then we have a lot of students that say, but I want a better hospital plan. Our hospital plan called Evolve is the most affordable in our range of options. That monthly contribution is 1,849 Rand a month, where a member is limited to only certain hospitals. They can only go to Evolve hospitals in South Africa. There's no out-of-hospital benefits, so no doctor, no dentist, no optometry. And if they need chronic benefits, they need to go to a state facility. So to access a hospital plan costs 1,849 Rand a month, or 22,100 per annum. So again, to demonstrate the value students receive, and because we are contributing and cross-subsidizing the contribution for our student population. Then just in closing remarks, so in the contribution is obviously unlimited hospital cover, elective and emergency, the visits, doctors, as long as the students go to the network, it's unlimited. The dental, optometry, radiology, pathology, and prescribed medicine is covered as well. Chronic conditions, your 27 chronic conditions, and this is available not in state, but at a private courier pharmacy that delivers the medicine at the student's doorstep. Specialist consultations, 2 per annum, out of hospital, preventative care, your health assessments, unlimited emergency care, and then the free benefits offered by Momentum, the repatriation, international travel, rewards, and wellness. And that is a monthly contribution of 589 Rand a month. So more health for more students for less, and we honestly live, breathe that theme and also purpose in our business unit. And I thank you for your attention. And again, thank you for the opportunity and inviting us to this session.
Well, thank you, Miss Rikki. We really do appreciate. I want to believe you would be able to share this slide with NANSSA so that we can share it with all institutional leaders, and from there they can get it across to their members, because I think some of the questions we ended up getting yesterday, I see it's been answered in the slide. Please permit me to invite Miss Nidia. Miss Nidia is a junior broker consultant with the Universal Health Service. She's dedicated and passionate about CompCare consultant. She's committed to providing exceptional services. She helps us all understand the benefits and ensure that we enjoy them and our period of membership with CompCare. Miss Nidia, please, can you come on board? We will come to questions soon for CompCare and Momentum. Yeah. Thank you. You are mute, Miss Nidia.
Off. This might be taking a bit long. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're already in the afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope
Good afternoon.
I'm not too loud. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nidia, as it was indicated by the president. I'm your dedicated consultant for the student option, and I extend my services as well to other options, corporate option, if you've got specifically a condition that is not covered by the student option. As you know, each options, for your information, each option covers specific chronic condition. You might have a condition that is not covered by the student option, and I can assist you get as an appropriate option to help you get services or medication for that specific condition. CompCare has been in the picture in the industry for over 30 years, and the speciality, the particularity of CompCare is to maintain the contribution low for the member, may it be for the student option or the corporate option. On CompCare, with this year, our contribution is 6,780 for 12 months. It covers your hospitalization. Hospitalization, I'll dividing them into two. You've got two different types of emergency. The one that's uncontrollable and the casualties. The uncontrollable situation, when it comes to those specific one, let's say car accident or an explosion, you are taken to hospital, you will be covered. And I will have also to bring a specification when we say you are covered 100% at 100% medical aid rate. We indicate 100% medical aid rate. It means there is a contract between the provider, who's the hospital, and the medical aid. If we cover a specific service, let's say blood transfusion is required, and or oncology, and that's let's put oncology aside, pathology, and we cover, let's say, up to 1,000 rand for that specific service. If the medical aid, if the hospital charges over 1,000 rand, the member is liable of the balance. That's the meaning of 100% medical aid rate. So while in hospital, you are covered 100% medical aid rate. Whatever will be requested, like medication, blood transfusion, oncology, or physiotherapy, it will all be covered. When it comes to casualties, it's a different story. Casualty, you have to pay for the consultation and the medical aid will refund you. But you find some hospital or practices, when you go for casualties, they will send the bill first to the medical aid. The medical aid will pay the cover. You'll receive a statement from Universal, which will indicate to you the amount you are liable of. I will see together.
We are.
Okay, thank you. You've got the chronic condition that are covered. Under the chronic condition, CompCare is covering over 32 chronic condition. It's important for the member to disclose the condition. It will allow us to advise more. You might have a condition that is not covered by the student option. We can present other options that can assist you, unless you are fine with covering up for your medication, for paying for your medication, and get the other benefit, like the other day-to-day benefit. So I always encourage members to disclose the condition so that we advise better, because it's a frustrating. You'll be frustrated if you don't tell us, you don't disclose it. We discover it later after 3-4 months, and the condition is not covered by the option. Then yeah, I know what it is when the members start shouting at us. But yeah, just help us, cooperate with us so that we can provide more information for you to feel happy like us. You've got the day-to-day benefit. Apart from hospitalization, you've got the day-to-day benefit that cover your consultation at the general practitioner. Your consultation are limited, and we've got two types of general practitioner: those who are dispensing medication and those who are not dispensing. If a doctor, general practitioner, is not dispensing medication, it will give you a prescription. That prescription will take you to the pharmacy. The closest pharmacy and easily known is Discount Pharmacy. You take it to Discount, they will assist you with medication. For doctors that are dispensing medication, they will assist you, they will treat you, give you medication, then you can go home. Now, if the condition persists and it requires you to see a specialist, the general practitioner will give you a referral letter. The referral letter is not authorization. Please understand that. Referral letter is not authorization. Once they give you a referral letter to see a specialist, you need to send that referral letter to us, to the medical scheme, or to your consultant. We will help you get authorization from the pre-authorization department. Once you get authorization, you can go to the specialist. The member is entitled of 2 visits per annum to the specialist. And the protocol is, your starting point is the general practitioner. He must consult you, give you the referral letter, you send it to the scheme, and the scheme will give you authorization. Once you've got authorization, only then you can go to the specialist. They might be busy. You might send your referral letter, let's say Thursday of a week before, and your appointment is Monday. You need, it's an emergency. Don't cancel your appointment. Go to the specialist at the specialist point office room. They call it room. They can call or you can call, they will give it to you. They might have been busy with something while sending you authorization. Then, you know, we are human. Someone can forget. It's happened, but it's already on system. They will give it to you immediately. You will receive it via SMS or via email, but if you call them, they will give it to you directly. When sending your referral letter, please make sure the doctor has indicated all your credentials, your information, full name, surname, membership number, and importantly, the ICD-10 code. Excuse me. The ICD-10 code is the diagnosis that allows the scheme to give authorization for a specific procedure. And it also allows the medical scheme to pay for an account. If they don't give a correct code, you will find something, a condition that has been rejected, or a service will be rejected while it could have been corrected. It could have been covered. So it's important to have the code on it and find out with us. If it's happened that it's rejected, we'll provide more detail and the doctor can still review it. It is possible. So you've got unlimited visits to your general practitioner. Your medication are covered. If the doctor is not dispensing medication, it will give you a script that you take to this scheme. A list of other pharmacies will also be provided to you. Then you can get your medication. You've got 2 visits per annum to the specialist, and there is a protocol. General practitioner gives you a referral letter, you send it to the scheme give you authorization, then you can go to the specialist. Your optometrist is covered, 2 visits per annum after 2 years. If you get your spectacle this year, you can only get the second pair of glasses after 2 years. But if within the year or within the 2 years before the end of the second year, we discover you've got a chronic eye condition that require you to have a pair of glasses per year, such as glaucoma, which is covered by the which is covered on the student option, you will be entitled of a pair of glasses every year. I'll stay together. President, I'll stay together.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. Apart from the chronic condition that I mentioned for eye disease, the eye disease chronic condition, you've got a pair of glasses every 2 years. Your dentistry is covered, just the basic, filling, cleaning, extraction, infection control, x-ray, just the basic. If you want anything related to cosmetic, medical aid don't cover for it. And I would like to draw your attention when it comes to dentists, as per my experience. Some of the dentists will rush to do a root canal for cosmetic. It is not covered. Make sure when you go to the dentist, tell them what you want to do. Filling, extraction, or tell them you want what is covered by the medical aid. They always call the medical aid to make sure that the service they want to do is covered. This is to avoid you having an extra cost. When it comes to root canal, keep it in mind, it is not covered. If you want to do it, tell him it's not covered, it must just do an extraction, as simple as it is. We've got, apart from your GP, optometrist, dentist, acute medication that are covered, your basic radiology and pathology are also covered. We covered for radiology and medical certificate as well. Your medical certificate for home affairs purposes. You just need to visit our doctors, one of the doctors on the networks, and they will assist you. As for KwaZulu-Natal, we just got in touch with one provider for radiology to make it easy for students. I will be sharing the information to be safe. Let me say 2 weeks time, I'll be sharing the information of the provider so that all our members can go to that specific radiologist for your radiology services for medical aid for Home Affairs services. You've got a oneness program. On the oneness programs, we've got the prostate that is covered for men health. Prostate is covered. One visit over the age of 40, pap smear for ladies, one visit over the age of 18, and mammogram is also covered, one visit over the age of 35. You can go for your blood pressure. This is under our preventive care. You can go for your blood test, your blood sugar, HIV test, cholesterol. You can go and do your test in one of the pharmacies. You can use a doctor, one of our doctor. You can also use a pharmacist. I like sending students to the pharmacy this game because with a doctor, I like referring to the previous experience where the member is going just for a HIV test, and the doctor start running many other tests that the member did not request that. Then the member find himself with a bill cost they have to pay, and they like shouting at medical aid. There is nothing honestly we can do. If whatever the doctor does in the room, we don't know. We rely on the assistant to pay for that specific account. So you're free to contact us just to make sure that whatever step you're taking is safe, simple, and less stressful. I'm not alone. I'm on the line with Dr. Yonel Ombele. He's the key account manager of this portfolio, student portfolio, and I would love to give the one section just to introduce himself and give us also give a word to the student when it comes to that specific session. Yonel Ombele, to you before give the last word to the audience.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nidia. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can, sir.
Thank you very much. Nidia asked me to be part of this meeting. I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Dr. Guy Yonel Ombele. I'm a key account manager at Universal Healthcare. I'm in charge of the student portfolio. I'm here just to add on what Nidia has already presented when coming to the benefit. I want to start just by sharing perhaps my the presentation that I have here, which is not going to take long. I'm just going to go quick because Nidia has already highlighted the most important aspect that we actually have. So let me know if you can see my screen on your side. Can you see my screen?
Not yet,
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Okay, let me just quickly do this again. Let me see. Share my screen. There you go. Perfect. Can you guys now see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, Doc. I think you can just go ahead sharing the screen just to save time.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Let me just do that. I just want to close again here. Very good. There you go. Is anything happening?
Yes.
Perfect. I love that. All right. So this is actually what I wanted to touch on today. I want to touch on CompCare and then CompCare as universal. So Universal is the administrator of CompCare medical aid. What we actually do, Universal cover more than, you can see the major administrator in South Africa. So we've got the lack of med scheme, Discovery. Universal is the fourth largest administrator that you get in South Africa. So we're quite very big. We touch the life of 10 million's life, from the admin and care management to PMB, public and private hospitalization, and then also private scheme claim switching. So most of our services are even available to some of our competition, where they can make the use of some of our switching to submit account and stuff. So Universal is quite a huge and then large company. We've got a footprint almost in the Indian Ocean, in South Africa, in North California, in the US, but also in San Francisco. The other thing that we have, you can see some of our clients that we have from the Universal perspective. You get the lack of Old Mutual, James, Tiger Brand, and you name them. So it's actually a big company, and you see CompCare there being part of the Universal family. Universal also, as I said, is among the top 4 industry players, offering full range of services with more than 3.1 million medical scheme live under management. You've got the 4th top administrator in the country, where you've got Discovery, you've got MedScheme, you've got MMI Holding, and then also you've got Universal Healthcare there. Then you've got the services. What type of services that we have? The services that Universal have obviously will be most of the services that you find from CompCare. And our student portfolio, they're really very, I would say, gifted because of the fact that they can get access to all these services that Universal have, ranging from medicine management, corporate health and wellness, Universal 360, managed care, administration, and claim switching. You just name them. Then we've got the CompCare itself. As Nidia has already mentioned, we're saying that we're putting CompCare on the health of our student on autopilot. That means everything that they go and they do will actually be controlled themselves. They've got the opportunity or the advantage of actually having to see a full range of services that they can actually qualify. We know that the cost of medical aid in South Africa is quite very expensive. So being a member of Universal and part of CompCare is only an advantage on the student option. Then we've got maybe the CompCare. What is CompCare? What about CompCare? And also the demographic, the Umbuno option, where we've got our student on. We believe in a rich legacy, founding in 1978. So CompCare has been in the market from 1978. We've got a legacy of trust, reliability, and then also outstanding services. We actually have we're providing a large spectrum of offering when coming to the healthcare benefit. Why would actually someone look at CompCare? Why would you choose CompCare? Now, CompCare is the right place to be. You've got a well-served, 40 years of experience in the market. You also have option for everyone. So it's not only the student option. I know you guys have questions to say, what if I want to move to another option? Now I'm no longer on the student option or whatever. So it's not one option only that you get on CompCare. The cover for mom and babies, we take care of the mothers, we take care of your baby, whatever you felt pregnant, while you're being a member. You also have a commitment for virtual consultation. Our revolution for consultation is just amazing. The mental health benefit paid from risk. So you've got all options which offer 24/7 access to professional counseling. And then also your medical aid information at your fingerprint. This will be our app where you can view your membership certificate, the claims, and then also on that is accessible on what we call universal.one, which we give available to all our students. Then you can maximize your benefit, the quality of care. You can see it's actually nationwide. for private hospital via a network of 12,000 plus providers. So that's quite a biggest network of doctors that we have. Unlimited emergency evacuation in South Africa and then overseas. You've got comprehensive medical cover, all include assistance to manage chronic condition such as diabetic and also hypertension. You've got your international cover worldwide, international cover that we actually do through, we conduct through our partners, and the cover is actually through our universal reward. And also instant cover, regardless of the day or the month, we offer your instant next day cover also under why you will go and choose CompCare. But mostly, we are the most affordable medical aid in the student market. You wouldn't find any other medical aid providing with this cover that we have with the pricing that we're having. So we already care for our student, and we understand that we need to keep our pricing at a lower level so that student can actually enjoy. So CompCare, mostly students will come to us because they want to save at least 200 or 300 rand. You go on the market, you won't actually find that from our competitors. Then you've got access to affordability of high quality services. When you are an individual or any organization, CompCare will always have a solution for that specific need. I've already said that our philosophy is we care more. We need to care for our students irrespective. It's not only about the relationship for paying your medical aid, but it is a relationship that we keep together with the student that we need to go extra when coming to private care. Then we've got when people join medical aid, we always look at the solvency, whether the medical aid is doing well, the membership as well, how many members that the scheme has, and also the average age. You see that as per scheme council regulation, we actually still above the 25 solvency. We've got our membership, which actually around 18,129, and then the average age day is actually 42. Then you've got also what we call the app. Now, the app is the revolution, as I was saying. We give this to our students on their phone. We know that this the new generation, they always, people of phones, internet and stuff. So we give that to them so that they can access their medical aid. This is to avoid for them calling us all the time, the call center. Sometimes students don't have money and they spend a ridiculous amount of time on the phone trying to speak to a consultant, So this actually is on their phone. They can access the digital medical certificate, medical card. They can register the chronic and then chronic medication and condition. They can download the certificate. They can download or share the statement from CompCare. They can submit claim. They can also track whether the claim has been paid or not. They can request a pre-authorization from the system and then also tax certificate. But mostly, students always say, I want to see a doctor from the area where I am. With the app, they can definitely go on the app and then find who's the actually approximate doctor who's on our network that they can go and visit. Virtual consultation has actually been one of our revolution that I keep saying that because of the fact now that we actually offer them virtual consultation. So people can definitely call from their app and then talk to a doctor virtually, which is also the cost is not that expensive. You don't pay the normal cost like you're going to see a doctor. We also have our AI health checkers where a student can be able to go and then check the wellness. We're talking about wellness today. They can see the AI health where they can check some vitals and stuff. This they can communicate through, base video, which actually explain what is your blood sugar, what is your blood pressure. Maybe they want to look at how they're doing in terms of the weight and stuff like that. All of that they can do from the app. This is what they can see. Our life, you can see what is there, and then the AI can actually see on the other side. That means we can see inside. We can actually see exactly the app can tell you exactly what you're having as a condition or whatever case may be. You can check your vitals. We already say that heart rate, breathing, systolic, blood pressure, everything is on the app. Your physiological, your mental, your blood, and everything that you actually need to find about yourself for those vitals is actually on our wellness. The body mass index, the facial skin, you skin your face and stuff, also your waist and your body and stuff. As I said, you've got here one of the other stuff that we added that is called SARA. So our student can now talk live to this feature on the app where you can ask questions. SARA will offer 24/7 over the 365 days availability. It ensures that member can actually have health advice. So you can just speak to Sarah and say, Sarah, I want to know my mood today. Sarah, I want you to tell me about a specific condition. Sarah, I want you to talk to me about me not being well today because of what are the symptoms of this. So the Sarah is actually a revolution for all our students. They can definitely speak, and then Sarah will actually answer and give you effective, normal answers related to that specific condition. Then we actually have our mental health. We understand that students always go through a lot. You've got a very bad marks, then it's actually going to trigger stress. I know that the doctor was talking about stress now. I mean, our first, presenters, they actually did very nice presentation there. Students actually go a lot from their family, from school and everything that they have. So we need to make sure that your mental health will determine how you feel, how you think, how you act. You must be actually at ease so that you can go to school and then you can get nice marks. So we care about that. We know that there are causes that will actually, highlight the stress that you can have, biological, you feeling lonely and isolated, and also drugs and stuff like that. We actually there to assist the student through our program, mental health, psychiatrists, and then, physiological treatment in and out of hospital, treatment for alcoholism. We also have that, and you name the rest there. So we make sure that we actually offer our students those facilities. We also have availabilities of student calling our call center. We've got professionals sitting there where they can have a social counseling. They can talk about the stuff. These are qualified doctors sitting at Universal, and the call is for free because we understand that students they go through a lot. We want them to interact, and then someone can give advice. Those people will talk to you. They can advise. They can prescribe and stuff like that. And at CompCare, we continue to support even from the contraceptive. That ladies will always want to get their contraceptive, and we give 190 rand per beneficiary to get their contraceptive on a monthly basis. So the Umbuno option that we have, the student option, Nidia has already touched a lot. I would love to hear from you guys in terms of questions that we have around so that we can have a constructive discussion around CompCare, which is actually one of the top medical aid that we've got on the student market here. Thank you very much. I will just stop from there.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. We really do appreciate. We appreciate Miss Nidia as well. So now it's time for question. First and foremost, let me say thank you to each and every one of us, our speakers, for having been here all day. It was supposed to be a 2-hour session, and to find people stay this long, like stay this long. So I'm going to plead one more time. I would like to round this up in the next 15 minutes because we don't want to be a student body that doesn't know how to manage their time properly or to be pictured as one. So it's time for questions. I know there are some people, I don't know if Miss Susan is still online. I saw your personal chat that says, is there no time for question? So should you have a question, can you just raise your hand so that I can call on you? At the same time.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, yes, Miss Susan, you can go ahead.
Okay, my question was supposed to be directed to momentum. Can I ask it here as well?
Yes, you can. Both as in DM section, as in sorry, the question segment is for both. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But for CompCare, I want to ask if one study is finished, like you're done with studies and maybe you get a job offer, what packages are there for someone who's going on continuity? I think this question should be directed to both CompCare and Momentum as well.
Okay, then you can also ask your question that was that is meant for
Okay, so the
Momentum.
one relating to Momentum about the cover, 100% cover and whatnot. So it's more personal for me because for the very first time since I started using Momentum coming to this country, I've never used so I just pay and I don't use. And for the first time I was sick and admitted, I was chased out of the hospital because they told me the allocated time that was approved by my medical aid was just 1 day, which was 24 hours. And I wasn't even feeling good. And then only for me to get home, I'm being asked to pay some money, which the medical aid doesn't cover. And here we're having a presentation saying it's 100% cover for us. So I really needed to ask about that when she was on that page. Hence, I was asking if there was room for questions. Thank you.
Let's do it this way. Can CompCare quickly answer that question while I now call on the representative from Momentum to also answer those two questions sent as an address to them.
All right. Thank you very much. For the question related to the other option, once you've done with your studies, you can still remain on the student option named Umbono Plus. You can still remain on Umbono Plus, but Umbono Plus will be now income-based. So what I always suggest the member is to take one of the highest option. So the least one is self-care.
Can you be a little bit audible? I can't hear you clearly.
Oh, sorry. Let me check my volume this side. Okay, is it much better?
Better now, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. On CompCare, the other option, you can remain on the Umbono option, the student option, while working, but that's at that stage, it will be income-based. We'll look at your salary, your 3 months bank statement, and you'll be paid, and you will be charged as per your earning. I will suggest you to get one of the corporate option, which the least is self-care, because the contribution are fixed. No matter the amount that you're earning, no matter your salary, you pay that exact amount. So what I do, I suggest 2 or 3, or I give you the benefit guide, and you go as per the cost and per the cover as well. If you've got a specific condition, I will request you to start by the condition, and we make sure that the option that you want to choose covers that option. And for the rest, it's always like the day-to-day benefit. They're always there, meaning the doctors, optometrists, dentists are always there. The most important is the condition. If you don't have a specific condition, then yeah, we can still offer you the most affordable, which is self-care.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
The catalog to go through it, please.
All right. Will I be able to send you, can you please share your email, or I share my email, you contact me, I'll forward you the benefit guide. Then you've got all the options. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Nidia. May I ask CompCare to help respond to that question with regards to having a job offer and you want to switch from students, from a medical aid that covers students, to you being as in somebody that is also employed. However, Miss Susan, CompCare did, Momentum did respond that unfortunately they are not able to attend to individual queries due to puppy arts. So,
well, this is not, it is not, I didn't specify details. I just gave like a holistic example, because I have other people who actually have done some certain procedures, and they will tell us that Momentum was unable to pay for something, so you need to pay. So if we are being told that we are covered 100% or 100% cover, and then hospitalization, which is not planned for, happens, we are being chased out and some things are not paid for. You can imagine you thinking you are having medical aids to cover your medical treatment, and 2 months, 3 months down the line, you are being chased by doctors or doctors' offices for you to pay 5,000, 3,000, 6,000 because the medical aid didn't cover those particular items. So
Okay.
it's not personal.
Okay.
I think it's a common complaint that most Nigerian students with momentum have had over the year.
Okay,
So
I would ask
personal.
Miss Rikki or anyone from Momentum to just respond to that question, as well as the one for swapping from students cover the medical aid to another. Thank you. Miss Rikki?
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for the question. I think just to address Susan or Suzanne's question that she raised about hospital cover or claims not paid. The reason I mentioned that it is an individual query, obviously with the hospital, there's an anaesthetist, there's a specialist, there's the hospital, there's medicine, there's support services. So unless we have the membership number, we cannot make a comment on why a certain part of the bill or claim wasn't paid. As I mentioned earlier and during the presentation, that there are certainly very different service providers that attend to you while you're in a hospital. And specifically when it comes to specialists can charge up to 500-600% of the medical aid rate that we reimburse, and then there will be a shortfall. Again, the focus is on affordability. So there are options available in the market. You can take out gap cover to make provision, for example, for shortfalls, but that comes at an extra contribution. So I think if you would not mind to send me the details, then we can do a proper analysis of the claims. I don't think it's appropriate to address personal details unless we can look at the information on the system. Then just a second question on medical scheme benefits. We give students access when they complete their studies to join any of the options on the medical scheme without any waiting period or any limited access to benefits, so free of underwriting, as long as they continue without a break in cover. So unfortunately, if you completed your studies and you only join Momentum again in 2026 on a different option, we would look at the healthcare information of the students, because remember, we don't put any waiting periods on students when they join the scheme. So you can have cancer or have a heart condition or need a bypass. We will cover that in full on the first day that your membership becomes valid. So I do think that's just important to note. So continuous cover if there's no break in cover. And then if you only join at a later point, you can again join any option. We have to accept any person on Momentum Medical Scheme, but then we can look at the health-related information of the applicant. I've posted on the website as well, in the chat, the Council for Medical Schemes also lists all the registered and approved options. But if you can please email me, then I can also share the Momentum Medical Scheme benefit brochure with all the options details.
Thank you, Miss Rikki. We really do appreciate. I don't know if there is any other question. There is a question actually, because yesterday we had what we call exercise fits in conjunction with Virgin Active Gym, and that was in collaboration with Nigerian students at the University of Johannesburg, Nigerian students at the University of Witwatersrand, and Nigerian students at the University of University of South Africa, Florida campus. And some of them wanted to get membership yesterday. However, when you find out that then there was this question of does Momentum or CompCare cover part of our gym membership? With Discovery Vitality, there is a particular percentage that Discovery Vitality takes care of. I don't know if Discovery Medical Aid also does that. So we just want a bit of clarity, because I see one of those questions. on ground, and I would just like to ask both people. I know part of the presentation from Momentum did show Virgin Active logo. However, we are not sure what that entails. Because yesterday, the little we were able to get was, oh, it only gives you the membership joining free. And so we would like to get that clarity. And if not, maybe you can also look at it as individual medical aid schemes to see how you can inculcate that understanding that we are talking about well-being today, and our members will really like to utilize that opportunity. So I don't know, maybe Ms. Rikki can go first, then Ms. Nidia.
Okay, sorry, thank you. Yes, on the free package of Momentum, Multiply, the Engage program, they do not pay the joining fee, and there is a 10% discount on the monthly fee. If they buy up to the Engage Plus option, which is 187 Rand a month, they get 60% off their membership at Planet Fitness and up to 50% at Virgin Active. So it just depends on the level of activity. But yeah, the free program, because there's no monthly contribution, doesn't have the large discounts, but we certainly have members that enjoys the 60% off. So it's a small exchange, paying the 187 Rand a month for the Engage Plus, but then you enjoy a 60% discount on your monthly gym fees.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. CompCare, please.
On the plan, we do actually have Planet Fitness that as partner. Our student can benefit from the 360 program. The 360 gave them benefit in terms of discount when coming to the gym. Depends on the 360 option where they are as well. So it's actually 360 beta or the 360 plus. They can actually have irrespective of the percentage, ranging from 10%, 20%, 50%, even 60%, 70%. Depends on what they put on the option. But the normal CompCare who actually join CompCare is qualified already for the 10% discount on the gym fee with Planet Fitness because they already directly part of the 360 family. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think for those that were at Virgin Active yesterday, you can now have a clearer picture from both ends on how that works. So my advice to everyone would be look for the nearest gym around you, talk to CompCare or Momentum representative for clearer understanding before you go into the gym to pay for your membership. That is just my best advice, being somebody that work within the fitness industry myself. I know it could be complicated when you've already registered, then later realize, oh, I can get this discount. Some of the sales team at the gyms might not even be fully aware about this. But if you speak to your medical aid provider, it gives you a better information, or you get more informed before you get to the gym, and you can tell them, oh, I'm a member of Momentum or a member of CompCare, this, then you pick it up from there. I'm not sure if we have any other question. However, I would like to once again plead with CompCare and Momentum if they can share their presentation with NANSSA via our email so that we can share it with the institutional leaders who in turn will share it with the members. In all, we would like to say a very big thank you to all our amiable guest speakers who have stayed till the end. Some of them had to leave. They did message us. Dr. Olubiyi, Dr. Motojesi, Dr. Eze, the team from CompCare, Miss Nidia, and Mr. Ombele, I think, if I didn't miss up the name. And also the team from Momentum, Miss Rikki, Mr. Neville, if I'm sure, and the others. Also to all our institutional leaders present. we did say a very big thank you. The representative from the Nigerian Doctors Forum. I'm just seeing that somebody from the Nigerian Doctors Forum, aside from our speakers, was around. Thank you very much. Mr. Femi from the Yoruba Extraction. Also, there was someone from another Yoruba association. I'm not so sure if I got the name. We really do appreciate people from the University of Johannesburg, UKZN, VETS, UCT, and from all the 26 universities in all. Thank you very much for being part of us. And we promise to try as much as possible to manage our time properly next time, but we are very grateful. It's a very insightful and productive event for you all to have stayed this long. It means we all benefited. Once again, we did give a disclaimer at the beginning of the event to say the event is being recorded and will be uploaded live. Sorry, will be uploaded on the YouTube channel of NANSSA. Please look out for that. Thank you very much. Have a blissful weekend. We really do appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for having us, President.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Okay,
Have a
bye-bye.
nice weekend.
Thank you. And to my team, I did say thank you. The executive committee, thank you. This wouldn't have been possible without you. The vice president one, the general secretary, the director of events, the director of finance, the assistant GenSec. Thank you to you all as well.
Thank you all, everyone. You
Thank
have a
you.
lovely day further.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, my Oga. Thank you, Dr. Tayo. Thank you, Dr. Yeah, a lot of doctors here. Dr. Fortune, thank you. Thank you, everyone.